Okay, hello. Hello, everyone. Hello from New York City. I'm back home. I've been in Atlanta since November, and I had a wonderful time hanging out with my new friends in Atlanta and Georgia. So I'm back here. I can't believe after how many months I'm back home in New York. I'm Roswell Royce Laurie. I'm the creator of a dance Facebook called Cool Folks Who Love to Bachata. We entered our third season. Yes, we made it after 3 years. You find yes, we're still going strong. We just had our our anniversary a month ago in Miami, and a big thanks to my friends Dance Awakening for hosting it. I'm gonna announce the next organizer soon, who I would like to host next year's event. So I'm gonna reach out to one of you guys pretty soon. But overall, I'm happy. I'm happy that you guys can join us, and I'm here with with Fuquan Ferrell. Fuquan, I've met Fuquan um, on his birthday. I came to his event, and I met him for the first time. He's a great guy, and he's done a great amount of work for the dance community in Atlanta. And I'm going to bring him on so he can tell you guys a little bit more about him, a couple of his events, and I just have some questions I'm going to ask him. If he'll be more than happy to answer. Um, so for Kwan, I'm going to bring you on in a few. Okay. So, but before I do, just a couple announcements. Next week, I'm going to interview a couple people. Tamara Salsa, I'm going to interview her. Also going to interview uh, Jose Serrano and Miss Baker. And the point of doing these interviews is so the dance world can know a little bit more about you guys and your events. And I just thought it would be a little bit more challenging, a little bit more fun, do something unique. So I know you guys, but I want to give the world an opportunity to know you guys as well. So I'm going to be continuing inviting each one of you to go live with me. All right. Okay, so I'm here in New York. I'll be here for the summer. I do plan to come back to the South after summer. So let me stop talking and bring on Fuquan. Okay. So Fuquan, are you there, my friend?
I'm right here. How's it going?
I am good. I am good. I'm a little exhausted. I'm sorry. I've been like running around all over today with my mom and stuff, and so forgive me. I apologize to everyone in advance for running up a little late. Just I never had organization 101 in high school, so forgive me, everyone. But I just want to tell everyone ahead of time that I am honored. I'm super honored to have Fuquan on it tonight. I mean, um, he did it at the last minute. I mean, at last minute notice. I just asked him like, less than a week ago. I'm like, we're going back and forth with texting and stuff. Like, hey, can you please do it? He's like, sure. When? Friday? He's like, yeah, sure. He's very simple. He's very cool. He's very professional. He knows this already. I'm very proud of him. I attended his events, and I like what I saw. He did a great job. He has a good reputation in Atlanta and throughout the country in general. So I am super honored. Mr. Farrell, to bring you on. I have to call you Mr. Farrell because I'm super honored to have you on. Okay. I know it's Friday and you have stuff to do, but um, first of all, if you don't mind, can you please tell everyone a little bit more about you, if you could please?
Well, first of all, honor is mine. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And that's a very open-ended question. My name is Juan. I'm based here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I run Fuego Yellow Dance Company with my partner in crime, Candace Joyner, and that's the gist. I've been dancing for a very long time, and I do this full time as an artist, and yeah, that's the gist.
that just works for me, man. It just works for me and my friends here in New York. So I want to say I had the chance to meet you. First of all, let me just tell everyone like how we met. It was okay. It was Mr. Farrell's birthday. Okay, and I was new to Atlanta. I just got there maybe right around Christmas time, so I really didn't know anyone except Mike Arana. So I said, you know what, I want to see what else is out there. I want to make new friends, and blah blah blah. So I just showed up, okay, arbitrarily to Fuquan's birthday. Okay, I just showed up and I said hello, hi, and he's like, oh hi, So I have to stop that. I have to stop that with people that haven't met me at first. So I came up to him like, "Hey, what's going on? Happy birthday!" He's like, "Oh, okay, okay." Roswell, you said, right? Yeah, yeah, Roswell. That's awesome. He was dressed up beautiful, like a young gentleman. The guy looked fabulous, like a GQ model from New York. So instantly, I said, I'm going to connect with him. He's professional. I'm going to go to these events. And I know I planned it in my mind that 6 months later or 7 months later, when I'm in New York, he's one of the people I'm going to interview in June. And look what happens. So he's here. So I'm proud to have met him. And he did a great, 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 great performance. When I first met him and Candace. Fuquana, do you remember that the Bela K Bela? Hope I got that right. Bela K Bela, performance that you and Candace did that I love so much and I still do. Um, could I quickly share it with everyone? Is that okay? So everyone can see what you did?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Hold on for a second, please. Hold on for 1 second, my friend. Um, this is the video of the Bela K Bela. Let's see. Um, so everyone can see it. Here Wow, every time I see that video, I'm like I say to myself, I want to be Candace one day. I'm up there, you're holding Roswell, cool man who loves the bachata. Well, I gotta like get in shape before you lift me up. I'm kind of heavy, but if you don't mind me asking, like how much practice does it take? First of all, I want everyone to know I'm not a professional dancer. I'm not an organizer. I just go to events, but how much energy and time and dedication does it take to actually? How long did it take you to actually practice to get all of that up and ready and practice and stuff? If you don't mind me asking.
So it depends. Everyone's different, so everyone's process is a little different. But Candace and I generally are in the studio and in the gym Monday through Thursday for at least 3 or 4 hours between stretching and warming up and actually choreographing, actually running our routines, working out afterwards to keep our bodies in shape. Stunts practice, like it's a lot. And some days are longer than others. Sometimes we'll be there from like 8:30 to like 3:30 afterwards.
Oh,
Job. But especially with the acrobatics. I mean, some of the tricks we've been doing, we've been practicing or building up the skills for years because they take a lot of like small building blocks that all work together. So kind of like progressing through lifting weights. You start at a small weight and you progressively get higher and higher in the weight over time. It's very similar. Am I frozen or?
I it looks like a little. Look like you're looking this way, but not sure what happened, bro. Sorry. Yeah, it looked like you froze just a little bit. Okay, you're back. You're back. I'm sorry. Whatever you do,
You still hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No.
Um,
We'll see. We'll figure out what's going on.
uh, let's. Okay, let me try to turn this on and turn you back in. Okay. Let's see.
Why is my phone camera not? There we go.
There you are. Okay. Whatever you do, don't breathe. Don't breathe. Okay, you're not frozen. Don't breathe. Just inhale. Don't exhale. Okay. Don't drink. Don't drink. Don't do anything. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Just keep that nice smile. Okay, but I was gonna say that it takes a lot of time and energy to do what you guys did. And I met Candace, by chance, and I just want to let you know I didn't really know, you guys, were a couple or whatever. I think I danced with her arbitrarily. Then I came to say hi to you or whatever. And then it hit me that, oh my God, Candace and Fuquan, they're, thank God I didn't do anything New Yorkish to her. So, but she's beautiful, by the way. Just wanted everyone to know she's professional. She's, both of you are beautiful. You guys should be supermodels. Come to New York. I'll hook you up with GQ. But I really like how you did that and stuff. But let me ask you a quick question. When at that moment, all these people were looking at you, including me. Like, what thought on in your head? Like what are like me, for example, I would say, what if it's me and XYZ woman up there, and I decide to drop her, or I'm like having a bad day, or I lose my contact pop out, and I'm like, oops, you're on the floor. I'm sorry. Like what? Like, how do you keep it together? I mean, like I mean, especially with the hand stuff. No, I gotta, I never, like that takes a lot of, you know, focus and stuff. And I see a young lady there, and it has to be
That's Candace.
Candace. Hi, Candace.
Sorry.
Hi, Candace. I'm Russell. Nice to meet you. But yeah, like, if you don't mind telling us, like, how did you keep it together at that moment, and like, what were you thinking, or what do you not think about? Like, how do you stay focused?
I
How do you
don't.
do that?
That's a definite. I'm a big believer in what you put out there is what will happen. Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up? I'm Roswell. No, it's okay. Bring them on. Bring them on. Bring them on camera.
It's live, yeah. And you have no shirt on.
But
Yep.
this camera is.
Hey, Philippe. Shh, I'm talking. We're talking. Okay.
But this.
Philippe, I'm talking right now. I'm on the radio. Yeah, no, I don't think about things like the negatives that could happen. I try to keep it, in the positive realm. But to be honest, when we're doing it, so we're in it. And so it's a mixture of like I'm not necessarily thinking hardcore about what's happening. I just like certain checkpoints, like okay, we need to do this here, we need to do that here. Don't not be here for this thing. I don't know. It's kind of hard because I've never really been asked that question. What I'm thinking. half the time I'm looking out at the audience, and and then literally because my philosophy as a performer is I'm literally engaging with the audience, and so being able to break my eyes of the audience is obviously when I'm looking up at her in the handstand, and like let's make sure we get through this.
I just saw Candace again. Candace, come on camera. Come on camera. I want to say hello to you. Don't be shy. We're all friends. And this is the reason I made this interview private for cool folks who love the Bachata members only. Okay, so only cool folks know can see this. I love your hair, by the way. Let's start from there. It's awesome. And I just got a haircut. I was trying to impress Fuquan, but it didn't work out. But your hair is wonderful. I love it. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm back home in New York.
Oh,
I'm back
nice.
home. Yeah, I came back with my mom less than a week ago, and I'm already going psychotic crazy here with my mom. But I'm happy to see you. When I come back down south, I plan to come back sometime after summer to hang out with you and for Quan
Yeah.
again, and come up and do say hello. So it's good to see you. I'm happy to see you. And you guys have to before I know I'm jumping the balls here, but I'm here until the summer. So you guys try to come up to New York, okay? So I can,
What here?
New York City. Yeah, please come up. Try it this summer.
A weekend actually.
Yeah, okay. Because you know why I want you to come up here, Candace. I want your man to lift me up in the air and do what he did. So you're like all the way up there with two hands, and I'm like, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready for him to do that to me. What he did to you, and I want him. I had to work out though. Gotta work out. I want him to lift me all the way up to heaven. Okay, so I'm getting ready for him this summer. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
But yeah, I was just asking him a couple quick questions like about the when you guys first saw me and in January and the beautiful Bela K Bela that video. You remember when So I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay,
Oh,
just so you know, I love it. I love it even more. Okay.
mhm.
I was gonna ask for Quan, and you can join us. I mean, this question. I I want to ask about children. All right. I always believe, kids are like influenced by what they see and how they see it.
Mhm.
When I was a kid, I grew up, I didn't, I just, thank God I had like parents. I'm from the West Indies, as everyone know. I come, typical immigration stories. My parents came from Guyana, migrated to New Jersey. We lived in a little tiny shack, in the basement, four brothers, sisters, aunt. We slept in one bed. So growing up in poorness and poverty, my dad always told me, go to school, make something of yourself, blah, 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 be successful, blah, 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 right? So, and he pushed me through college, did my master, did a doctoral stuff, and create cool folks. And to make a long story short, if I didn't have that upbringing role model, I would not be where I am. So Fuquan is one of those people that I always admire because I believe he has a strong influence on the young ones. Okay, I believe he does, and it's a fact. So I just would like to ask them, both of you, if you guys could, what advice do you have for children who might want to pursue dance as a profession? Any advice you can give them, the children that are listening right now, or um,
To well, I would say for them to make sure that they have a mentor, somebody to look up to kind of watch their journey as they go. To just let them know it's a lot of hard work and to protect their body along the way, making sure that they're doing everything that they need to do as far as conditioning and stretching and stuff to make sure that their bodies will last for that period of time.
For me, I would say to be consistent. The
Yeah.
biggest thing about kids is they're a constant force of chaos and change throughout, until early adulthood. Most people don't know what they want or what they want to do. And just like myself, I've been dancing for most of my life, but it's been on and off a lot because you find another interest that's for a couple minutes, come back, and so on and so forth. And I can't imagine if there was like a stick to it of nature of just doing it consistently throughout, um, and having that real time under your belt by the end. because it's what you need for anything in life. If you want to be good at something, you just need consistency, because you could even be not the best at something, and if you're consistent, you will build the ability to do something well because you're working at it, and improving your skills over time. Versus someone who's talented and they're barely working at it, they're barely doing it. That person not talented and is working will pass them very quickly. So consistency is a really big thing in my mind for anyone, let alone kids. While you have the time and the energy and the ability to do it and do it as long as you can and keep it up.
Did you always knew you wanted to be a performer, an organizer, a dancer? When I was younger, my dad especially, he was like, you're gonna either become a doctor, a lawyer, do something, professional or whatever. I could not even mention, you know, television, acting, any of that stuff. I couldn't mention any of that. So by chance, I just still had the passion to actually, do what I do. I mean, I do this. There's cool folks who love the bachata stuff because I'm very passionate about doing it and I love doing it and stuff. But on the side, I still, do the legal stuff. I do, work with attorneys and stuff. So I just wanted to ask you if it's okay. Like, is this something that is this something that you had in mind, you planned since you were a young man? Is something that you knew you were going to do? Like, was that in your 5-year plan, or was it something that no, like how did you become the man you are today, if you don't mind me asking, in the dance world?
So I've always been an artist. My grandmother put me in the arts when I was really really young to keep me out of trouble, and I've always been between photography classes, like at a little community center, acting, singing, whatever, what have you, and then dance was the biggest thing that I had that consistent and went. Um, I progressed through very quickly, and the only other large hobby I had outside of dance was martial arts. And so I was going to be a martial arts instructor, open up my own school and teach that. And right around the time that happens to not be a thing for me anymore, I got back into dance, but for Latin dancing. And so it was going to be some kind of art. I always know I want to be some kind of artist and do it full time, and now it's what I do. It wasn't necessarily my choice in the beginning, but I love it. Like I truly love the arts, and even now, like what little free time I have, I'm doing photography and cinematography now, amongst other things, and you know it's just my life.
Yeah, speaking of photography, I love that. Oh God, I think it's your main cover page on your Facebook. Actually, I didn't. I still can't believe. Is that really you, the guy? Like, there's a guy with long hair in front of a car and whatever. That's not you, right?
My photo, but he's a model. It's not me in the photo. It's just a photo I took and edited.
Okay, because I was trying to figure it out. I'm back in New York. I'm like, something's wrong with my eyes. I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, I did, so I mean that, I could have, we took out the glasses and, put some of Candace hair on. I could have swore that was you. A big blur. But no, anyway, you're very photogenic, bro. I'm sir. I have to call you sir because I just feel he feels so royal, Candace. I feel I have to call him sir. I don't know why. I think I've been in Atlanta way too long. Sir, Fuquan, sir. But sir, yeah, I love that photo. I want to say, Candace, don't go too far. I got to ask you a question together. Um, okay. There's a lot of stuff that I see, right? I travel a lot, as you guys know. I pop up to events, I give my support and whatever. I don't really say anything because it's not my place, but I observe. So this is the time for me to actually say something. And Candace, I would like both the two of you to probably jump in here. Um, there's, COVID is kind of over, right? So the dance world is, competing and blah blah blah. Friends are like competing against one another and stuff. So let me ask you guys a question, okay? Have patience with me because I'm not an organizer and I failed calculus 101 100 times. Okay, I don't. By the grace of God, I don't know how I made it through school. Okay, so okay, da 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 da. Okay, there's 5 amigos. Okay, 5. Okay, Saturday night. It could be any city. I don't know, Miami, Atlanta, New York, Japan, whatever. Five amigos on a Saturday night. Okay, you got like I don't know, Juan, Peter, I don't know, Jane, Ed, Laura, whatever. Okay, five of them. They're good friends. Okay, they've known each other for such a long time. They all have the same, well, similar events, right? They're big shop people. They have the same events on a Saturday night, like 8 p.m. They're all within like 5 miles of a radius, walking distance. Okay. So what bugs me, and I always ask everyone this question in an interview, and I still don't get it, and I don't think I ever will. Wouldn't it make sense, guys? Okay, they're all my friends. They're all your friends, right? And they spend a fortune to do this, advertising, marketing, real estate space, all of that good stuff, And instead, a couple show up here to Ed, one show up here to, Eduardo, uh, five people show up to Sarah, one person show up to my fifth friend. My point to you is that it's not balancing out. I don't think it's balancing out. And I've been seeing this a lot and a lot and a lot and a lot. And again, for the records, I know everyone's listening to me say this. I'm not pointing names. I'm not saying anything specific. I just said I just see stuff, and maybe if I talk about it and get the opinions of my guests, maybe things could be a little, you know, much better now that it's, people are back up and running. Candice, Fuquan, can you guys try to help? I mean, this support. How can, in a perfect world, can this possibly be fixed? Like, is it a possibility that everyone can support one another, or has it always been like this? Because remember, I'm kind of new to this business. I only started this a couple years before COVID, so maybe it's been like this for centuries, and I don't know. But I don't see that much support, you know. And before COVID, I kind of did. There were lots of congresses, lots of weekenders. Now weekenders, only one or two people show up. So again, I'm not saying anything specific. I'm just saying I see stuff. So how can you guys suggest like a cool way or something that could work so everyone can begin supporting one another to avoid this, you know, John Doe spent $10,000 for a hall a Saturday night and only Peter and Joe shows up, and and how could that be avoided? I don't know. Maybe it can't. Candace, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. How can dancers better support one another? That's all. I just wanted your opinion.
I think at the end of the day, it kind of boils down to two things because splitting the scene is a very common thing. It depends upon the city's size and I would say the coordination between organizers, right? So, like, say a city like New York has thousands of dancers easily, right? And so you can afford to have dancing every night of the week at multiple locations because, for one thing, if they're not necessarily in the same location or close by, you have options based on where you live. So, say there's something in Queens, okay, I can go to this event in Queens. Or it's like, okay, I'm gonna go to this event that's in the Bronx. Like, they're nowhere near each other, so like they serve two different markets, even though they're in the same relative city. Um, but then if you start getting to where it's like, okay, it's something in the same night, but then they're like, 2 miles away from one another, it's kind of like, yeah, you're actively splitting the scene. And so no one gets to really make any money or grow things because people actively choose one thing or the other, or they choose not to go because they're conflicts of interest, or just because they might have something else going on. Both events miss out on that one person for whatever reason. Um, so I would say, organizers should do better thought processes of, is my city large enough for a new event? If I only have a few hundred dancers and people barely come out to the events that are already there, maybe adding another event is not the best. But if you go to a city that has like thousands of dancers and everywhere you go, every single event is packed, okay, there must be a market here. You know, attach myself to open up a new venue, and then as long as it's not like super conflicted, it should be pretty much fine if you market yourself, right? So if you're actively like marketing yourself the same night as someone who has an established event, and then you're trying to like go to their event to advertise your event, you're actively trying to take dancers away from things already happening, then yeah, you're splitting the scene. And this is uncomfortable because it's money out there for everyone, I believe, personally. And if you are in a smaller city, you can always choose to help build it up by not splitting the scene. Say, hey, we only have a few hundred dancers anyways. maybe I should try and have a more beginner friendly event where I can bring beginners in, or maybe I can have like a mixed Latin night where I play like reggaeton and dembao too. That way I have a different kind of coming in to market myself differently than a traditional social. Like there's ways to always market yourself and build things up versus just having like a cookie cutter. I want to take someone else's idea on the same night in another location and just try and pull from that already. That's my thought.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, you can just.
No, I
Sorry.
mean, I'm not a big fan of splitting, the scene. I agree with what he said as far as the scene being really big, and if all the socials are packed, and then you can just add another night and you still be packed. That's great, but I think out of 7 days out of the week and 4 weeks out of a month, sometimes five, I really feel like you can find a day that somebody's not having an event on, and you can make it happen. And I would say a lot of the stuff probably comes from just lack of communication, lack of knowledge, and rivalries. Like certain personalities just don't get along with each other. So like, if you just don't like this person, you're not gonna even care what they're doing because you're like, forget them. I don't care what they're doing. I'm gonna do my thing. And I know, fortunately, that happens. There's drama in every single scene, every single city. So
And that's funny to me because I refuse to let my emotions disrupt my business. So I I have drama in the scene, but no one would ever know because I don't put my drama out there for the world to know. Because I'm a businessman at my events, so whether or not I don't like an organizer, everyone's welcome at my event. So are their students. I let everyone, our students, our company members know about everyone's socials, and they go to everyone's socials. And we're the only ones in Atlanta, for the most part, who actually, because we travel a lot, when we are here in Atlanta, we support everyone's events the best we can. Like, we're at everyone's socials, regardless. And if we're not traveling, we're out social dancing, and our students, we believe in building the scene up, and the scene needs support. If they want to be multiple socials happening throughout the month, they have to be dancers there. And so we tell our dancers, go out, practice to build up your skill sets, support these events so they continue going. So you have somewhere to practice in the first place. You know, just enjoy being a part of the community, because at the end of the day, even though this is a business, it's also built upon community. If there's no one going out to besides one social, then eventually there's going to be no socials for people to do in the first place.
Okay.
And
I hope you didn't freeze again. Wait a second. I just do what you did before when you unfroze. Okay. Don't. Okay. Wait.
I switched my Mac camera. Let me go back now.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I just see Candace like standing at the door, looking at us talk. So, okay. Let's see.
There's a laptop.
Uh, oh, yeah, I think you're Fuquan. Okay, I see. Okay. Don't move. Don't breathe. Don't breathe. I told you not to breathe. Remember, you're not supposed to breathe. Okay. Yeah, hold on. Okay, because if you freeze again, Mike Arana is going to come to New York and beat the crap out of me. Okay, so Mike is a big guy. Okay, so peace. Okay, don't freeze. Okay, hang in there. So anyway, I'm happy that you said that, because like what I notice about you guys, I mean, in Atlanta, there's a lot of support there. I mean, Mike Arana, for example, Tuesdays is his event. I see you showing up there, a lot. Sean Christopher, you popped in there every now and then. I saw the Salsa Sheila a month ago when I was there last. You were in the back, at her the April event. Jose's Saturday event. Yeah. So when I see that, maybe I'm an outsider. I'm in New York. I don't, I just see stuff. I don't talk. So that tells me there's a family. There's a family in Atlanta. You guys are one big family, and I don't see that other places that I travel. So you guys are the Atlanta community is doing something correct. You guys are supporting one another. And I like how you guys do like the Mambo event is coming up, and and then next week there's somebody else is having a different event, and each week of the month you guys are have it chunked in or assigned to someone in a Georgia or Atlanta. So that's good. So I'm happy you guys are doing that. Oh, hi, little guy. Hi, I'm Roswell. Hi, don't be shy. Don't be. See, I'm half naked too. So I got no shirt. Bro, you got more muscles than me. How are you working out here? God, I feel bad. Your little boy is working out. I saw his trunk. Okay, I feel bad. I got to work out. Got to work out. But support is very good, and the only reason I brought that up is because it's sad. I see some of my friends. They spend a fortune renting out someplace, and only 2 or 4 people show up. I just feel bad for everyone. When that happens. So hopefully by my talk and bringing this up, you know, may help in the future. I don't know how, but it may help or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, things aren't perfect here in Atlanta by any means, but
Mhm.
I would say for the most part work together. So like you said, everybody has a different night. So like on the first Saturday, there's an event. On the second Saturday, there's an event. On the third Saturday, somebody else has an event. On the fourth Saturday, and the same thing for Friday. So we do try to not plan events on the same night. Every now and then things overlap, but for the most part, I think we do try to work together in that sense of different nights.
And the people who don't work together, it's really obvious, and their events typically aren't very successful, anyways. So the bigger people who actually are at least in some way business minded and want to work with the community, their events have been here for a while and have lasted for a while. So, and it's because they actively talk to everyone at least in some way, shape, or form, and they don't try to interrupt or disrupt each other's events for the most part.
Okay, that's okay. That's great. I'm happy you guys said that. So, but there was a lot of support, and I've been talking good about you guys in New York. So everyone in New York knows about Salsa Sheila, Sean Christopher, Fuquan, and Mike. Oh my God, let's not mention Mike. He's the one that actually encouraged me to met you and everyone else. He's like, but you guys are all good people, and I invite all of you guys up here to New York to hang out with me on the dance floor. Okay, this summer.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask you a quick question. Events. Okay. You have this super cool event coming up in July, right? Let me see if I got this right. Obscure, obscure. Okay, so
Of school.
okay, sounds good. It sounds French. Who came up with that name? It sounds like French. I like the.
It's me. So it's the original Spanish word for darkness. Like now they use the word oscuro without the B, but I wanted to go to the original version of the word because it's closest to Latin. And the whole point of our event is that it's focusing on the Afro and Afro Latin, which is very often forgot that there's Afro roots these Latin dances. And so we want to remind people that, people of the diaspora have a large claim to Latin dancing, just like Latinos would be, right? Because very often that there are Africans in Latin America who contributed to, or Black people in America who contribute to these dances. And so, yeah, it's all about bringing that thought process back and just bringing something to Atlanta that's a little different because often the events in Atlanta don't involve Atlanta instructors, which is interesting. Uh, but we started last year with a 1 day event where we had all the Atlanta instructors teach and perform, those who perform obviously, and it was a really big success. I didn't lose any money, thankfully. So this year we wanted to up it into a larger event. So now it's a 2 day event, 2 nights, 2 days. We're bringing some artists from around the country: Bianca Chapman, Ed Amaya from Phoenix, Yaya from Texas, and even people out of retirement to teach a class for us. Stacy, Paul, and Candace's partner coming out of retirement to teach a class for us. It's a large plethora of people bringing their talents and information to this event.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who's coming from Texas? You said.
So Yayita or Garisha Figueroa, she's coming from Houston.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Was that the young lady that performed at was that the young lady that performed in Miami at my Cool Folks Love to Bachata event? I think it was her. She has like Yaya or no, maybe I'm getting it mixed up. It's a beautiful blonde, like short. She's very well known in Miami. She teaches Sunday classes in.
There's two Yaya. So there's Yayita and Yaya. Yayita's one we're bringing, and she's a young Afro Puerto Rican artist,
Okay.
and
It's a
she's great. She's great.
Okay. Let me just give advice to your little boy, your little guy there. The red. Say to the red. I like the
Bill,
red. I like the red. Just
the
sorry, I didn't
red
mean to
shirt.
scare you, but the red shirt looks good. That's my yeah. I like that. If not, go for the blue, the light blue, not the yellow. No, the red. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get personal. Reason to get dressed up, you better wear my favorite color. Okay. So anyway, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You left the
But
door.
but seriously, that should be a great event. And if you don't mind me asking, you probably you answered this before with in general, but that planning, like, how, if you don't mind me asking, like, how long in advance did it take for you to actually, well, you and your friends, you and your colleagues to actually make this happen? Like, how, like, I mean, these guests that are coming in, from all over and stuff. Now, COVID stuff, it's lifted and stuff. There's more, there's more work for you to do, you and your colleagues. So, if you don't mind me, like, asking, like, how much time was needed, or is it normally needed for for an event like this?
So because like it's we there's no hotel involved. So like it's a weekender. So everyone getting their own hotel. Everyone gets here on their own. Um, but I'm only bringing technically three artists. Oh Lord, I think he's freezing on us.
Yeah, it works.
Switch. I need you to get out.
Okay.
There's only three artists that we're actually bringing in from outside of the state, and
Okay.
so it was mostly, and I actually know them fairly well. Years. Listen to the text message. Hey, are you free these dates? Are you willing to come? What's your rates? How do we get you apart? What can you do? So on and so
Okay.
forth. And then they're just getting their flights and an Airbnb for them, to stay in. So this has been a fairly easy event to put together because it's a
Mhm.
low risk event. I
Mhm.
mean, more than some people out there are spending $200,000 on an event. The way my bank account set up is I can't do that kind of stuff. So this is a much smaller event, but the idea is more so about quantity over quality for us because the instructors we have coming are
Uh-huh.
just people, amazing social dancers, amazing instructors, amazing performers, and so it should be a great time because I think really, really densely quality
Mhm.
don't exist very often. Typically, events focus on just the quantity, a lot of artists, a big hotel, big parties. But I'm not saying anything negative. It's just like it's hard to really have an experience where you get to actually make memories with people or learn in a smaller class environment, versus having to split a room with 200, 300 people, and actually get quality information in that smaller setting when it's only 40 people in the room with an instructor. You that's my thought process. And not only that, but like I said, the thought process for me is that I want to put on a really black event, because black people don't get a chance to be seen in a dance that is also theirs, because not only are was African people a part of the development of these dances in Latin America, but in New York, where this is being developed into mambo, right? There are black Afro Latinos or black people in general making up these dances,
Mhm.
popularizing them here in America. So,
Mhm.
it's really about making sure people understand that it's more to this dance than just the typical European centric faced artists you might see out there. It's dancing all over this world and it belongs to everyone. As long as you pay homage to the roots and you really learn it well, everyone should be able to dance this and enjoy it. And I feel like there's been a lot of exclusion of black people. And how often do you see an artist flyer where there's lots of like Afro Latinos or black people? It's not a common thing, right? And I really want to make that a thing that we could see. You know,
Well, I'm proud of you, sir, because, like, as everyone, I mean, part black, a mix. As everyone knows, I'm from the West Indies. My dad is half African, half Scotland. My mom is Indian. So, one of the reasons I decided to travel a lot. I used to live in Austin, Texas. I used to live in Miami, Atlanta. I traveled a lot. So, but I must admit that I'm a little ignorant. I was a little ignorant before I came to Atlanta because the stereotypes that I've heard, about Atlanta, that black people don't really dance, and it's like Atlanta, like New York, like a second New York. Why go there? It's like, So when my mom said that my youngest sisters moved into Florida with her babies, and her husband found an IT job in Alpharetta and stuff. Then my mom was like, let's go spend like a few months with the grandbaby. And I'm like, I don't, I let this. I said, Mom, no, like, the people's not going to look like me. There's no Roswells there. You know, I mean, there's no diver. It's not New York. I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to hang out with black people if they don't dance bachata. My mom was like, "What?" So I said, "I don't think black people dance bachata there. I don't hear that." And so then my mom's like, "You're going." Then she started to cry like she normally do, and I felt bad. Okay, fine. We'll pack up when we go down south. So Fuquana, I just want to say I was very ignorant about Atlanta at first because my mind said, and that's how it is some places that Atlanta didn't have a big dance community and people don't dance that much and black people So I was proud, very 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 proud what you and Mike Arana and the rest of everyone else were doing. You guys were promoting unity, bringing one big family. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, Indian. It was like one big family everywhere every event that I've gone to. Each one of you guys, I've noticed that inclusion, diversity, and you especially, you're a significant role model to the black community of dancers. Candace, I mean, both of you. So I mean that. I'm just not saying that because I really mean like I witnessed it. Okay, I was in Atlanta, and I showed up to everyone's event, the best every event. I just showed up, whether I was invited or not. I just showed up, like, hey, what's up? You guys know that, so I'm proud of you guys, especially you, Frequana. Okay. Let's move on here. Oh, there's a naughty event coming up. My favorite. I can't come no more because I'm in New York. Mambo. It's this Saturday, right? Is it the Mambo? Is it this Saturday or next Saturday? Next Saturday.
Yeah, everything.
Okay, let me just show the flyer. I love this flyer. I'm all about, photos and stuff. Candace, this is a beautiful flyer here. Let me just share this if you don't mind for half a second. I'm going to share this beautiful flyer. You see what it says Mambo Mayhem. Okay, I like that. With the pink and everything. Fuquan, were you like who invented this flyer? Who created this? They did a good job. I like how they put the words and the people and the pink and everything. Like who really did this? I love it.
All our graphics, all our social media is all me. Yep.
I love it. I love it. It has that, that graphic look, got Mambo in white, and then you had the ladies all in pink, and they've got, everyone is groomed and clean looking and, beautiful. And I like it. It's very professionally done and advertised. So I just wanted to quickly share that to everyone so they can also see it. Oh, hello. I see. Hey, what's up, bro? I'm Roswell. What's up? How old is the little one? He looked like he wants to be in TV. He's not shy. He's not shy. So that's good. That's good. Follow my footsteps. Don't be shy. No, but I love that photo and it's beautiful and stuff. And it's gorgeous. Real quickly, I wanted to ask you about that event. How often have you been having it? Is it something new, or is it something that it's been ongoing since before COVID? And if you don't mind me asking, real quickly, like, what's the essence of it? Like, what's so special about it? I know Mambo and stuff, but like, what's the value of it? Like, what message do you want people to take away? The takeaway message. Is that a good question to ask you for Corn? So
it'll be our 8th anniversary for Mambo Mayhem in July of next month. So it's basically we took Mambo Mayhem and just built it up into a larger event for our anniversary. So Saturday night of the event of Scudo is actually our 8th year anniversary and our annual red party. So our company, Fuego y Fire and Ice in Spanish. And so our company colors are red and blue. So our two major parties every year, because we have a social every month. In July, we have a red party. January, we have a blue party. Our two main colors. And so it'll be 8 years in July that we've had the social. And I mean, to be honest, it was just because the whole thought process of our company in general is that we wanted to travel outside of Atlanta to dance and to keep growing as dancers and artists. And while we're here, we do what we can in our own little area to build up the community because you need dancers for socials and you need socials for dancers. You can't have it both ways, right? Like if you're gonna build up people who are learning to do a social dance, they have to have it too, right? But if you have no events to go to, you can't really have students grow and develop. So it's like a two-way street you need. So we have our classes and then we had our social for the idea that our dancers would at least have one social to go to dance at, let alone the other socials that are out there, and so on and so forth. Because, I feel like it's kind of like going to see the same movie over and over again. Even if it's your favorite movie, eventually you're like, okay, I need to take a break from watching this movie. So if you have multiple events going on, even though they're very similar, they're the same genre of movie, they should all have their own, I guess, flavor to them that makes things more palatable over and over again. And so I feel like our event is, for one thing, different because we have two rooms, and I believe it's only us and Tumbao, Mike's social, that have two actual rooms for dancing. Like we have our salsa room and our bachata room. Um, Personally, I
Okay.
prefer everyone being in one big room dancing everything. But nowadays, everyone's so separate. I only dance bachata or I only dance salsa. So we have, that marketing thought process of like, okay, let's get them their own rooms. And we're right in the city. Like a lot of people like, off somewhere out in the cut, versus like we're right there in Buckhead, so it's easy to get to us. You can get there from MARTA if you want to. Um, and we're just inclusive. Like everyone generally, can come to our social. We're not like elitist or we don't want you here. We're welcoming to everyone. Everyone comes. Everyone. Um, and our after parties are a big thing too. Like here and there, we like when the DJs leave, I start putting on like hip hop and R&B, reggaeton, and people just kind of do their thing over there. We have a little saying: "What happens in Mama Mayhem stays in Mama Mayhem." So I don't want to give too many details, but I feel like that's another thing that kind of helps separate us and give people another reason to come. Is that every once in a while we have this little after party. Sometimes after the after party, we go out to eat, and we're up till the sun comes up.
After parties. Oh my goodness. I didn't get did I get a chance to go to, no, I didn't go to an after party when I only when, Eric Ordonis, only when Eric Ordonis had the big event in March. I think that's the only time I stayed up till like past 2 o'clock. Everything, I'm an old man, bro. Like 12:05, I'm like, I'm not 18 anymore. I pass out. But your after parties, I gotta, when I come down south again, I gotta go to your after parties. I want to see what's going on after the after party.
Throughout the day, though, we stay up all night long.
All night long. That's good. Oh, shoes. This is what I wanted. Candace, your guy has the most beautiful shoes on this planet. I should have brought up one of the pictures and the stuff, even in the video. Like, where do you get? Not in New York, right? Where do you get those nice
My
fancy
shoes,
shoes from? Like, yeah, your shoes. Like, where is it from? New York City? Like, is it custom made or? I like those shoes. You know that. Yeah, those
I
shiny, shiny, nice shoes.
more pairs of dance shoes than I have regular shoes. I think I have, let's see, one,
You have more shoes than a woman. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, more shoes than Candace. No, I'm just kidding. Candace,
shoes, I have
Candace, more shoes.
three pairs of regular shoes. So, um,
What? What? How
20
much?
pairs of dance shoes.
I got to write this down. Hold on for a second. Got to write this down for evidence. I can't. That's a lot. That's good. Good,
I
good,
like that.
good. That's
But
great.
the two places I get my shoes from, there's a company called Very Fine Shoes. They're like all room
Oh, okay.
supplier, and then Yami Dance Shoes is another one. Yami Dance Shoes is someone we've worked with since they came out. They're local to Atlanta company. So there's some
Mhm.
dancers here, and they've been dancing for a while, and they thought there was a need in the market for another shoe brand because there's only a few, Latin dance shoe brands out there, and so they've kind of blown up out of nowhere because they're just out there hustling and grinding, and so that's literally the only shoes I really wear is Very Fine and Yami. I have a pair of Fuegos. I have a pair of my Ziggies as well. Um, I just have different shoes for different purposes. If I'm being lazy, I don't want to wear. I'll wear something like a sneaker, so I'll wear my Ziggies. They're great for sneakers. And she's a Yami girl. She like swears by her Yami shoes. So, ladies, if you want some nice shoes, go try out Yami 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 dance shoes.
Well, the reason I'm so into shoes, I mean, Fuquan, I know we didn't really talk much when I saw you. It was only like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And it's kind of, as everyone knows, I'm deaf. Well, I'm partially deaf. I lost my hearing about a year and a half ago after COVID. So it's hard. That's why when I go dancing, I could only take the music for like 2 hours because after a while, then my ears,
Yeah.
so I wear like hearing aids to balance the sound. So especially, so Fuquan, Candace, so if I never really talk to you guys, trust me, it's just that, it's hard to hear because I'm deaf in one ear. So forgive me for not, having a conversation with you guys there about your
Yeah.
shoes, but this is the reason I wanted to have you on so you can tell everyone about it and stuff. I love your shoes, bro. I just want to let you know. Um, um, I just want to say the reason I love shoes. I used to work at Mace. I used to when I got my master's degree, I couldn't find a decent job, so I used to end up working at Macy's selling shoes for eight
Oh
years.
wow.
And then going on to nine, I never made any commission, Candace, none. So I don't know why they kept me. Actually, yeah, I do. Right before they let me go, I asked my manager like, why did you guys keep me all this time? I didn't make any commission. I used to tell people go to Sears or J.C. Penney because the shoes here at Macy's are too expensive. And my manager like, you can't tell people that stuff. I'm like, it's true. I can't sell shoes to people and then be dishonest. Anyway, that, as you know, that wasn't a job, the career for me. So I went into legal. Anyway, to make a long story short, I'm so fascinated with shoes that men and women wear, and it's because I used to work in shoes. That's the reason, Candace. I don't know when I was dancing with you, instead of looking at you, I was looking at your shoes. So just so you know, I wasn't looking at anything else. Okay, I was looking down at your shoes. Okay, just for the records. But so you guys wear beautiful shoes. You guys are beautiful people. You guys are good people and positive role models to everyone, every community, every culture, everything. And you guys are just fabulous. Okay. Um, I know you guys got to go because your young one is like, before he pops up and then no shirt, and then you're like, put some shirt on. I don't want him to get yelled at. Okay? He's a nice. He seemed like a nice guy. So I'll wrap this up. So, what are some last minute words or advice, takeaways you would? What's some last minute stuff you want to say to organizers, people that are looking at this? What are some last thing, Fuquan, you would like to say?
You want to go first?
No.
Um, Last minute stuff. That's a very open question. Um, Hire us. You can follow us at Fuego Yellow on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. That's where we post the most. TikTok. Yeah. Hire us. That's what I want to say to all the promoters that are out there. If you're not a promoter, follow us anyways to support us. Everyone always needs more and more support on this. How we advertise ourselves nowadays. But in general, just love what you do. I feel like one of the biggest things I run into out there is I feel like a lot of people want to dance for the wrong reason. If you're not in dance because you love it and you don't love the music you're dancing to, then go find something else to do. There's plenty of hobbies out there. If you like kizomba music better, go dance kizomba. If you like swing music better, go dance swing. I feel like a lot of people just kind of go out dancing because they want to find something fun to do, and that's fine while you're in that exploratory stage. But like, I feel like your hobby should be something that you actively love because you're spending your extra time and money doing it. If you're just in there to find women, just to find men, you can do that anywhere. There's not enough actual love for these dances nowadays, and I want more people to actually be in there and loving it and working and thriving in it. And I just feel like people need to reassess and think about why they do things because I truly love it. I know she loves it, and sometimes people are just in the way. Like, come on, guys, like find your thing that you love and then go do that. You know what I mean?
Candace got that nice smile. Candace is like, yeah, my man. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I chose real quick. I want to say this real quickly. Passion. You know, you have to be passionate about what you do, right, guys? You have to love what you do, not like. You have to love what you do, right? Like, it's not good. Like, I just had a conversation with a friend recently. Dancing is great, but like everything in life, there's a limit. I mean, you can't like dance like every single day. You have to take some time out for your family, or just sit down there. I don't know, just procrastinate or whatever. It's good that like everything in life, you can't go over the line, you can't go under. So but you still got to love what you do, be passionate. One of the reasons I tell everyone this real quickly, one of the reasons I created Cool Folks Who Love the Bachata, and one of the reasons I'm doing interviews now is not because I have nothing else to do on a Friday night. It's just, I'm just doing this because I love what I do. I'm not getting paid for this, just because everyone knows I'm just doing this because I love it, not like it. I love it. Like is my job, 9 to 5, which I don't like. I don't love. I just like it because it pays the bill. This is what I love to do. I love to go to events. I love to, help. I like to help people. I like to help people to help themselves who want to be helped. And if I see talent in someone, I go for it and I increase that talent or I help them grow more. That it's just who I am as a person. Okay. So for Kwana, I'm happy, how you ended this interview by responding to that question of what's the takeaway you would like everyone to know. Love, passion, all of that stuff, it's great. You have to love what you do. Like when you had Candace up in the air when I saw you a few months ago,
Yep.
right? Passion is not, you didn't like it. You were like, it's like, oh, I don't, Candace, like, stay up there, girl. No, you love it. You love what you do, right? So I'm happy, that's the main takeaway I want everyone, to take away from this interview. Okay, guys. So when you guys are ready to come to New York, let me know. Okay, take you some cool places. I want to introduce you to some big shot names in the. This is New York, and they all know me. I'm a cool man who loves the bachata. So I want to introduce you guys to some people that I know. You can maybe do business with them or whatever. Take over their class. Show them how to dance at Atlanta. Show them New York. You think us New Yorkers we know everything? We don't. So you guys got to show everyone what you know. Okay.
Definitely.
It was nice talking to you and your family, Fuquan, and thank you for taking the time to speak with me. Continue sharing your postings. Tell Mike, Ola, give him a big hug. I miss Mike Arana, and I plan to interview him soon, and so tell him look out for me. He's a great guy. Because of Mike, I just want to say Mike is the one how I know everyone. He's the one that told me go say hello to go to Fuquan, go to Sheila. So because of him,
Okay.
I became part of the family. So tell him I said hello. Have a good night, and please keep in touch. Okay.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right. Good
Bye.
night. Bye bye.